Is your business protected against the threat of malicious litigation and frivolous lawsuits? Are you sinking company profits into marketing campaigns that do nothing to contribute to the growth of your business? Bottled Business Sense provides practical business perspectives that uniquely emphasize both legal and media marketing strategies to protect and ensure the longevity of your business. And whether you're trying to provide a startup business with some level of stability or an established business with foolproof asset and estate protection, or simply attempting to get a better return for your business marketing dollars, Bill Bernard and Rick Moscoso will expose potential pitfalls to ensure the security and growth of your business, free from unwanted expense and the threat of litigation. You'll learn how to implement marketing and protection tools equal to those used by today's most successful corporations. Let's join Bill and Rick for today's Bottled Business Sense show.
All right, everyone. Good morning. It's good to be with you again here on this great Tuesday morning for another show. Bottled Business Sense show is now up and running and on the air, and we have a great topic today. But before we get into that, I want to say hi and good morning to my partner, Rick Moscoso. How are you today, Rick?
I'm doing great, Bill. How are you doing?
Good. Just doing great,
all right.
And I'm really excited about today's show because we're going to talk about media marketing platforms, and we're going to break that up into email marketing and video marketing, two of the premier areas that I just love to be involved in. And I got to confess to you, Rick, I, for years, didn't know much about it and didn't have much of an interest until probably about 6-7 years ago, and now I can't get enough of it. So why don't we start out by discussing, I guess we want to start by discussing first some email marketing issues, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The email is pretty widely used by businesses, and some on a professional basis, and some use just the regular consumer available type of platforms, like typically like Gmail or Yahoo or maybe their internet provider email, which is okay, and it's a free platform, and even Outlook's a free platform, but a lot of times these free platforms like Gmail or Yahoo don't provide the analytics, right, that a business may be looking for as far as quantifying how many people are actually reading their articles. Is it reaching their target audience?
Underlying this whole thing, I'm assuming, is this foundational this criteria of analytics. It just has so much value to it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because if you don't know how many emails are actually getting to their destination, deliverability wise, or how many of those recipients are actually opening those emails or forwarding them on to others, you don't know how effective your marketing campaign is, right? So without that, it's best guess.
Well, one of the things is I've always wondered about, Rick, and I've heard this, and I've heard people talk about this a lot. If you, many people, I assume, probably have websites out there that don't have any kind of analytics embedded within the site. In other words, if you're using email, Yahoo, Google, whatever it is, it doesn't do a whole lot of good, I would assume, unless you have some sort of an analytic code embedded in your website, or am I mixing apples and oranges?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I know exactly what you're talking about. On the website, you want some kind of embedded analytics, and the easiest thing to do is to go to Google Analytics, get a code, and if you're using a WordPress site, there's a space in the admin area where you can put in that Google Analytic code, so you see some of the traffic analytics that come to your site. Now, on the email side, it's a little bit different, because how you use an email possibly on a website is more like an opt-in. All right, maybe you have, and I talked about this before, where you offer a freemium. It could be a high-value report or a high-value perceived giveaway, right? And in order to receive that, you can put in an opt-in box where somebody puts in their name and email, and in return for that, you deliver via email this freemium to them.
It's going to be, like, an example would be on our Bottled Business Sense show website, where I believe we have an opt-in form that requires your email in order to get copies of what our newsletter.
Yes, yes,
Right. Okay.
And that's the key, because in this situation we use Aweber, and I'll talk a little bit more about these advanced platforms. But Aweber is great because it builds that database automatically for you and delivers the freemium product that they're opting in for automatically. So we don't have to. For instance, if you have a website and you use the existing contact in a WordPress website, for example,
Right.
it sends an email to you, whatever you designated that recipient email to be. Could be Bill Bernard, it could be BillBernard.com, right, or at gmail.com, something like that.
Right.
If you have that in your website, well, the contact information goes to BillBernard at gmail.com, and then you have to manually create the email response, attach the newsletter if that's what you're sending them, and do that for every single person that opts into that box, right? So it's a lot of tedious work.
Right.
you
Right.
know?
It is. Yeah.
And so
I would
if you
imagine
use,
it would be.
Yeah, and so if you use an advanced email option like Aweber, and there's a few more I'll talk about, then this is all done automatically.
Well, this reminds me. This is almost like. Would this be akin to when I run my business? I'll pull up a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet to get a view of where my business is at a particular point during the year. I would assume this is what these analytics report would provide you with. In other words, the health of your site. Right.
Oh yeah, because as you use your email marketing campaigns, you can have several different types of email marketing campaigns running simultaneously, and they may not necessarily be to the same target market. Right. So, for instance, you may have a separate database in your case to people that are interested in asset protection. Right. You may have another list of folks that are interested in entity creation. Right. A single newsletter may not be applicable to both, but you can certainly focus in on those two target markets with different email campaigns.
Or asset protection versus estate planning
Yeah, there
versus
you go.
employment law,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. So you can customize that campaign.
Would you recommend, at least from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you'd recommend having people go with some formalized company to do this for you, or can you even do this on your own?
You could do it on your own, but every time somebody opts in, you physically have to respond back one by one every time it comes in.
Okay.
If you're using Gmail, if you're using Yahoo or some kind of personal email platform like that. If you have an automated platform like Aweber, then once you set up the campaign and they opt in, everything's done automatically. And the beautiful thing about it is that now they're in that campaign database that you can continue to market to later on, or even cross promote in other things that you're doing.
And what would be some of the ones? I know you mentioned Aweber. Were there any other ones you'd recommend, Rick?
Yeah. Well, I'll mention a lot of these. I don't personally use all of them, but I know of them, and I know that I've used them in the past. I don't currently use all of these, but they all have their advantages and costs associated with it. Like Aweber, for instance, you can start as low as $1, right, and send free. Send emails up to like 500 subscribers. Some of the features, though, are not automated in this starting package, but then as your subscriber base grows, then you can always upgrade. And can't remember what plan you use. And
I do. I use Aweber. Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right. Then there's another one called MailChimp.
Right.
I've used that in the past, and I'm currently using it for some other simple email marketing campaigns. The only reason is it's free, right? And you can use that free service up to 500 users. After you pass 500 users, then you get into the paid subscription. So it's a great starter email package that does all these analytics for you, so you can kind of get used to how that whole thing works, and then as your database grows, you can upgrade.
And I'm assuming all of these companies have built-in platforms that will take care of the spam issue.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, in other words, somebody's going to opt in on your site, but they're going to get an email from Aweber or MailChimp or whoever to confirm that they want to definitely opt in.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because the way that these guys are set up is that they will use like a double opt-in procedure. So before they actually send you the content, they'll send you an email saying that, hey, you opted in on this site for this free information. To verify, click on this link below, right? And that verifies in that email provider system that there's actually a warm body behind that email that was sent, and it wasn't a spam that was sent to the site. So you're confirming in your email, and then once you confirm it, then you get the content.
Yeah. This is extremely interesting. Before we go on, I want to take our first commercial break and talk a little bit about a sponsor I mentioned on the last show, a new sponsor to our show, called Strider Watch Ltd., and that's spelled STRIDER, Watch, WATCH, Ltd., and they're located at striderwatches.com. This company is owned by a friend of mine by the name of Jim Skelton, and Jim's been a long-time TV host on a number of different shows over the course of the last 10, 11 years, and is now a host on WOW TV, which is World of Watches, so you can see World of Watches, the show that's broadcast every Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Jim is one of the co-hosts on that show. In any event, Jim is a watch guru, in my view, and he has developed his own watch company called Strider Watch Company. You can see a picture of his newest creation called the Hyperdrive on the screen there, on Rick's screen there, and it's just an astounding watch. It's a beautiful watch, and this guy really knows what he's talking about, folks. So I would urge you, if you're interested in timepieces like Rick and I are, to please visit Strider Watches. That's WATCHES.com. And they're located, by the way, at 1072 East Newport Center Drive in Deerfield, Deerfield. Beacon, is it, Rick? I believe BEXON or BECON.
That's I'm sorry, Newport Center Drive in Deerfield Beach.
I'm sorry, BEACH, Deerfield Beach, Florida 33442. Can't read Rick's writing here, folks. And the phone number is 754-227-5824. So check out Strider Watch Company Ltd. at striderwatches.com and give my friend Jim Skelton a call if you have any questions whatsoever. This is a fantastic timepiece. Okay, let's get back into the show. And I know we were talking about email marketing, Rick. I think we were talking about the various companies, and I know we want to get into some video marketing concepts. But before we leave the email marketing arena, have we touched upon, or is there something distinct about what's called, typically referred to as a vertical response? What's a vertical response?
Oh, well, vertical response is actually a name of another company that provides email services. All right. Okay. So in addition to these, to MailChimp and Aweber, there's also a company called Constant Contact. They provide a 60-day trial. iContact, which I've used in the past, starting at $15. And then you move into the more enterprise type of email database systems, right? And that would be like Vertical Response or Infusionsoft. Great companies these are very complex email systems that provide incredible amounts of analytics to their systems, but they're more tailored to enterprise-wide type of companies. So possibly a real estate agent that has multiple agents may be using something like this.
Okay. So we've got this foundation that we're building upon. Everybody needs an email marketing campaign, right? I mean, everybody needs to have something in place that will take care of business from the standpoint of the computer age. We need to have some email marketing campaigns. Now, you've mentioned some of the generalities here, but then, and this may be a topic for another show, but there are a number of different types of campaigns you can build once you have this foundation established. Right?
Oh, yeah. That's definitely another topic for another show, because we can go into great depth of some some tips and tricks on how to do the right type of campaign when you're doing email marketing.
Okay, good. I'm going to look forward to that in the future. But right now, the second portion of our show is going to be dedicated to video marketing. Let me ask you right off the top, before we get into that, can the video marketing, I'm assuming it can, video marketing can be a type of campaign that's used in a email marketing campaign, right?
Yes, it's used in conjunction with that.
Okay, why don't you tell us all how that happens?
Yeah, and it's actually more attractive because people are more apt to watch a video than they are to read an email. So it's important not only to put an image, because people will click on an image, and if it feeds into a video, then you have much better conversion rates when you have something visual like that, other than just a textual email, right?
And we decided to do this show in simulcast.
Yeah, exactly.
What was one of the principal reasons for that?
Well, it extends our viewership because there's all kinds of different visual and audio learners out there. So not only do you have somebody who might listen to this as in the form of a podcast in a car or something like that, but there may be folks that want to see our personality, and it helps us connect better with them, because they see our character, they see how goofy we are, and they get to see great watches.
Or how dedicated we are. I prefer that.
There you go.
Okay, in any event, I see there's a number of ways to go video marketing wise. I mean, there's YouTube and there's Vimeo, and there's a whole array of companies you can use. Just like there was a whole array of companies you can use for email campaigns.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this right off the top. Does it really matter if in other words, if you sit down and you want to plot out a video marketing campaign in terms of its substance, does it really matter from a substance standpoint what procedural vehicle you use? In other words, whether it doesn't matter once you have the substance for them, whether you use YouTube or Vimeo or something else?
It could, and it all depends on the content that you're delivering. I mean, one of the most common video platforms, obviously, is YouTube. It's the biggest. It's the biggest platform, and I think it's the number 2 search engine to Google. Right. Mm-hmm. So, you can get mixed in there with the billions of other videos that get posted to YouTube. Now, the good thing about YouTube is it's free, obviously. It's tied into Google, but there are some disadvantages to it in the way it delivers sometimes if you embed into a website. Now, if you're delivering it through email, it's pretty easy to use. You get general analytics from it as far as how many views, how many likes, but it's basic stuff that you get from that. So depending upon the content, educational content, viral content, it's a good platform to use. Now, for me, in our studio, when we do video walkthroughs, cinematic tours of a house, we're more interested in video quality, and that's why we use the platform called Vimeo. Vimeo is really structured for high quality streaming. I mean, there's no question that artists like us or cinema guys will definitely put their videos on Vimeo because the quality is second to none. So
again, I guess it's what you're trying to accomplish. Would it be correct to say that the trade-off would be because Google owns YouTube, that from an analytics standpoint, you're going to get a little better results using YouTube?
Yeah, you could. Although Vimeo does have its own analytics that are really good. If they're not any worse than Google. The only downside to Vimeo is obviously their user base isn't as big as YouTube, right? But in the case of high quality, then for photographers or videographers, Vimeo is definitely the choice.
Well, is there going to be a way to tie in Vimeo? Not tie in, but is there going to be a way to optimize Vimeo in terms of SEO, search engine optimization? Is there a way to do that so it's going to be, in other words, not everything is owned by Google.
Yeah,
so you would use the standard SEO procedures to make sure whatever you have on Vimeo is discovered by others, right?
Yeah, what I see people do is they'll simultaneously host to YouTube and Vimeo at the same time, and then that way there's two things that they can measure to see how effective their campaigns are. Right.
Very good.
So it's always a good idea to kind of have two different test platforms and see which one works better.
Right,
You know,
right.
and so we do that. All
I think
the time.
that's a great tip. So you'd recommend to our viewers and listeners that they undergo these test procedures to see what it is that's paying off for them the most.
Email and video marketing are always a constant test. You're A/B testing or split testing all the time. So it could be as simple as a graphic on an opt-in box versus another opt-in box with the same content with the same freemium that doesn't have a graphic, right? And you see which one converts better. You know, internet marketers do this all the time, and they're constantly testing which one's going to capture the most opt-ins, right? Which lead to better, more conversions when it comes to the end of the day.
So somebody can call R2 up and say, okay, I've got this concept. Here's what I want to accomplish in terms of my video marketing. Who do you recommend I use as a platform, and how do you recommend I tie these platforms, the different platforms that I'm going to use? How do I tie them in together? That's something R2 could definitely help them with.
Yeah, we really have to sit down and take a look at your business model. What is it that you're promoting, whether it's a product or service, and then get a good understanding of your target market, and then figure out how do you want to market to these and what kind of campaign would work best in that particular situation. So there, with all these different platforms, and we've only had an opportunity to touch on some of them. One of the ones that I really like as far as a video marketing platform, we use this on the real estate side, is a platform called BombBomb. Right, that's BombBomb.com.
I'm not familiar with it. Tell us about that.
BombBomb is really cool. It's a hybrid between an email marketing platform and a video hosting platform. Right, so
that sounds incredible. But tell us how to spell that, Rick, so our viewers can.
Yeah, it's BombBomb.com.
Oh, okay.
BombBomb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way that works is imagine Aweber, right? Which is strictly an email marketing type of platform. Now you can embed a video link to YouTube to play, but what BombBomb does is they created this algorithm or the software that'll actually play the video inside your inbox in about 90% of the cases. There's some older email systems like Outlook that haven't yet quite embraced the full features of HTML5 technical stuff, but basically when you click on an email from BombBomb inside of Outlook, it still opens up a browser, right, for you to view the video. Now the downside to that is once they leave your email, they leave your content. In BombBomb, when they watch your video inside of the BombBomb platform, it plays inside your inbox. So it doesn't open up a new viewer. You're still within the content of the email. It plays the video, and you can frame that around. You can frame any marketing stuff that you want to frame around that. Another one-time offer, another hook that you want to promote. So it plays inside of the inbox, which is really cool because now you still have them captured. So once the video's done, you're still inside the email, and you haven't left that page yet.
Okay, so tell us what's the advantage of and maybe you already have, and it just went over my head, but what's the advantage of still being inside the email as opposed to seeing it in a separate window?
Once they leave your email, they're probably gone from your content. So you could have more information like a free offer or a subscription to a newsletter or more valuable freemiums that you want to include with that video, right? But in a typical email where you just have a link, it opens up a browser. Now you're out of the email platform, and now you're a web-based video, right? Like YouTube. Now you're in YouTube.
Right.
When you view the video in BombBomb, you're still in the email once it's completed playing, and all that content that you want to push market to them is still sitting out there in front of them, so they can continue to read on if they found the video engaging enough, and it's like I want to find out more. All that stuff is still there in front of them.
Well, I remember a while back when I was started to use you. We were talking about how to post periodic videos on YouTube, learning videos or informational videos. And so you post that whatever you think is appropriate every week, every 2 weeks, every month. So what you're saying is you could do those videos, post them, but then send them out through a platform like BombBomb, which is typically similar to Aweber, and you send them out to your list, and now they'll open up this email and have a video right inside that plays the message that you want to get
Yeah,
across.
and here's the cool thing about that is that you have your typical social links that, let's say you find a video, you receive a video that's of interest to you and that you want to share with somebody else. You
Right.
can do all the social forwarding and all that stuff. But it also enables you to connect with the creator, the guy that you received the email from. There's a little box above the video that says reply with video. So I can engage, the customer can engage with you, right, just by clicking that box and using their webcam and say, can you explain a little bit more about whatever it is the video was
Wow,
created.
yeah.
So now you have you have immediate interaction now
Right.
with that viewer, and you can start a conversation, which is beautiful because that's what social media is all about.
No,
right?
that's incredible and the fascinating. And then, of course, inside BombBomb, just like inside a Weber, I'm assuming there's an analytics procedure or process whereby you can figure out how many, who clicked on what and what the feedback is from a number of different, or on a number of different levels.
Yeah, you can see how many views on that video. You can analyze that. You can see what platform it was viewed on. So, for instance, you can tell. The analytics will tell you, was it viewed on a mobile device like an iPhone or an iPad? Was it viewed on a desktop? And which browser was it viewed in? Was it viewed in Chrome? Was it viewed in Internet Explorer? You can tell if it was forwarded on to somebody else and how many times was it forwarded on. You can tell how much of the video did they actually watch and where did they click off, right? Because then you can go back and say, geez, at the 1 minute mark, it seemed like a lot of people clicked off. You can go back to that video and try and figure out why. It could have been something you said. Maybe there was a small little mistake, or the content was just not interesting. So there's a lot of things that you can tell from this platform. That's why I like this BombBomb platform.
And see, so Rick's full of these kind of ideas. I would urge you, folks, if you're interested in exploring some ideas with Rick, to get a hold of him because these are the types of things that we're not exposed to on an everyday basis. I certainly am not, and that's why I work with Rick to obtain some of this information and get these great ideas that he has. I want to take a minute to do our second commercial break.
Sure.
Talk about my company very briefly, WFB Legal Consulting Incorporated. It essentially is a company that deals with the protection of others' businesses. Our forte is and our motto, if you will, is proudly protecting others. We have a tri-fold platform, if you will. It encompasses asset protection by way of small business asset protection, estate planning, incorporating asset protection and family assets through an estate plan, and employment law in order to keep businesses that are up and running intact and free from having to go to court and free from malicious litigation by making sure that they're complying with all of the state and federal laws that are necessary in a small business, especially if you have employees. And you can contact me at wfblegalconsulting.com or at 949-413-6535 or 949-698-6222. Okay, let's get back to the show and find out what other interesting information Rick has for us as we head towards the wrap.
Folks, at the end of this, at the bottom of this show, you'll see a link to a resource that you can download. There's a number of different platforms I didn't have a chance to speak about, but it'll give you a basic idea of what the advantages and disadvantages are, the starting costs, and links to each one of these. So you'll have that resource guide below this video. Good,
fantastic. And where can they, now that we're on that subject, where can they get a hold of us, Rick?
You can reach the Bottled Business Sense Show by email if you want to be a guest or you have some questions that you'd like to feed into the show at bottledbusinesssenseshow@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Google Plus at Bottled Business Sense Show, or you can tweet in on Twitter at BBSense Show.
Okay. And by the way, you can also inquire on the same website, our website. You can inquire whether you want to be a sponsor on the show. If you may have some questions or topics you want to suggest to the show, you may want to be on the show, or you just may want to be a sponsor on the show, and we're happy to entertain that as well. So please feel free to contact us through that tool.
So, Bill, what's up for next week?
Next week's show is going to be a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that is Estate Business Planning 101. I'm basically going to tell you about the typical estate plan that and the tools of a proper estate plan that all families need, and how I'm going to touch upon how that can be utilized to incorporate a business as well. Because we all need an estate plan for a number of different reasons that I'm going to get into next week. A real important part of the total business asset protection plan and estate protection plan that every family and business needs.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing that show. That's going to be some great information for our viewers.
Look forward to doing it, Rick. And today's show was great. I thought it was just a lot of fantastic information. We'll see everyone next week, same time, same place, and I hope everyone has a great week.
All right. Have a great week, folks.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.